Hussbus, bus stop. JP Hussey here, owner of the Hussey Team Mortgage Advisors, with this week's Hussbus, bus stop. Hope everybody is doing great. Let's talk about something that's not fun to talk about. Divorce and mortgages. Alright? So unfortunately this stuff happens. Alright? And a lot of times there is real estate involved. Right? A house. Alright? And if people go their separate ways, in most cases one person is going to keep the house and one person needs to be off of that house. Alright? And depending on the situation, the person leaving that house wants some money from the person who's keeping that house, all right? And obviously there's a lot of emotions involved, so it can be a bit complex. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into this if this were to happen. And even though it's not fun to talk about, all right, it's good to talk about so you know your options, okay? So if this were to occur and one person is going to keep the house and the other person wants some money for giving that house, in most situations you have to do what's called a cash out refinance. All right, now sometimes that person keeping the house has money. They might have to liquidate retirement, they have cash, they're splitting up assets, and maybe that works. But in the case where that doesn't work, a cash out refinance might be the case. All right, now with cash out refinance, now what that is, you're just refinancing it. You're pulling money out off that original balance as long as that appraisal is there, all right? Because a lot of times the value has a lot to do with what that other person's getting, right? Cash out refinance is there, and it takes the money. You split the title up. That person's off. They go their separate way, and they have some money, all right? So a cash out refinance could be the situation there, all right? Now, usually with cash out refinances, all right, the rates are a little bit worse. The pricing is a little bit worse. But a few years ago, newer rules came out where they will look at this type of situation as a rate and term refinance, like a regular refinance, so you're not getting those higher rates. All right, a couple little things go into it, but you can do that. So that's one thing that they're trying to do to help. All right, now there are situations where there is no money being exchanged. One person's keeping the house, and they just need to remove that other person from the title of the home and the actual loan, all right? So sometimes I've seen, all right, where you can go to your servicer of your mortgage. That's the one that just collects the money each month. And they'll let the person keeping the house assume the mortgage and just split it up, blah, 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 and you're done. All right, sometimes that can happen. But remember, sometimes these servicers aren't good at doing loans. They're just good at collecting money, all right? So that's one thing to think about. You could do home equity lines of credit to be able to give money to the other person. But remember, the big thing here is removing someone from the title of the home. That's the biggest thing. So there's going to be a bunch of different options there, and that's what usually a divorce decree will say. You have to remove that from the person, because the person leaving a home, all right, being removed, wants to buy another home, and they're not off the loan of the first home or the title. That could hurt them in qualifying for that next home, all right? So you have to be strategic here. You have to know the options. A lot of things that can affect you when you're going through a divorce. There's also, you have to think about child support or alimony. So there's a lot of different things that go into qualifying for that next home, if you're the one leaving, okay, that go into it. So make sure you're always speaking to a trusted loan advisor to get the strategy underway. And I always say half the time I'm more of a therapist than a mortgage person, because when you're dealing with people going through a divorce, I've yet to see one where it's very easy, okay? So you have to have someone that can control emotions, be direct, and let you know what has to be done, all right? If you have any questions, we're always here. Have a great day. Hussbus, bus stop.